Hi guys, I'm Katya. Welcome to my channel where I kind of discover and share the path of being an entrepreneur, doing many professions at once, especially in the fashion industry. And also just, kind of like my personal journey. I don't know. We are still yet to define exactly what this channel is gonna be. So for now, we are experimenting a little bit with different topics and trying to establish ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I mean me in the sphere of YouTube creators. Today, I want to talk about manifestation. And before you cancel on the video, just hear me out, because I think my point of view might be a little bit different from all the self development and growth YouTube channels and gurus that you see right now popping up. I think this topic has become super popular and everybody's talking about it and everybody's trying to do it. To get the full picture, I think I need to tell you a little bit about myself and just give you a little bit of the backstory. So I'm the kind of person that really, for majority of my life until a few years, even months ago, didn't really believe in this all mojo juju. I don't know, the tree hugging community, I love to like call it, just to like make fun of it. I'm so sorry. I don't want to offend anyone, but I used to be pretty close-minded. And I think it all came from a space of where I kind of wanted to present myself as this tough, nothing gets to me kind of badass girl. Because in reality, I'm very sensitive and I'm very emotional, and I'm the kind of person who is very vulnerable. And so to kind of protect myself on the outside, I have all these tattoos and just kind of like, I don't give a fuck kind of attitude. And this all comes, I guess, some part of it from the personality, but some part of from the environment where I grew up. So this is how would I say, post-Yugoslavian, post-socialist times, where our parents were, I wouldn't say, our parents were very straightforward. Is like more or less, I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing. Not spiritual at all, even though I come from a Christian family and I went through all of the sacraments and all that kind of stuff. We're not religious people. We're not really practicing that much, except for my mom. She still would like go to church, to the ceremonies on like big holidays, but other than that, I consider myself an atheist. So my upbringing was, not much talk about feelings. It wasn't much talk about mindset, wasn't much talk about anything spiritual, wasn't any talk about psychology, nothing like that. So growing up in this like material world, so that's one part of it. And the other is, like I said, just my personality. So combined together, I was just never really interested in these kind of things. I saw people who were doing yoga as this like hippie, baggy pants wearing, not showering, long hair, dreadlocks kind of people. walking around barefoot and things like that, pretty stereotypical. Definitely, I did not imagine, a CEO of a enterprise doing yoga or anything like that. So it all came from like TV. I don't think I might have known actually someone who was like practicing yoga, and I think one one part of me was like connecting that to India, of course. So I thought like people who at that time went to India, who weren't that many, travel wasn't as accessible as it is these days. But yeah, it was like, it just wasn't attractive to me, not visually, not mentally, not, in any kind of aspect. So whenever I would be in contact with that with that world, I was like very defensive and just kind of like mocking it and like making myself um, bigger or better than the tree hugging people. When I think of it now, it's kind of ridiculous, but yeah, I just wasn't exposed to this kind of world, so I thought it's BS completely. So it wasn't until recently when I started reading more, when my mental health really collapsed, I can say, that I actually started, practicing yoga, meditating, um, listening more about how important mindset is in like our everyday like behaviors and belief systems and actions and all of that. And of course we all know a few years ago Law of Attraction was like a super popular book. I think that was maybe like the first thing I read that was more kind of from this spiritual mentality kind of aspect. But that knowing or that knowledge, I think it vanished quite quickly because I think I was quite young. I might have been in high school. I'm not completely sure. Maybe just after high school. But yeah, like events in my personal life, I think kind of drew me to the point where I started reading more, and it just became a bit more mainstream. And when you see cool people doing it, then you're kind of like, oh, wait a minute, maybe there is something on this, like maybe there is something going on that I don't know about. So slowly started researching, and yeah, it took quite a while. I think one of the most influential um, books for me was reading Eckhart Tolle. So that really made a big impact and like shifted my perspective a lot. And that was kind of like the beginning. That was maybe like 2 years ago that I really started kind of being more aware and just working on my personal growth more consciously and with with intent, I would say. And after that, a couple of months ago, there was just talk about manifestation everywhere. So I started looking into that, and it's really simple. The principle of it, as you probably know, is if you believe something and think about something, it can materialize. Because apparently our brain doesn't really distinct between what is real and what we are just thinking about. So it's like, okay, this really cannot hurt. Like it takes a few minutes every day, or just however you want to practice it. But I set out a few goals. I set out first to kind of better my financial state. So I first focused on that. And how I did it was I combined a few different tactics. So I would listen to affirmations. I would write in my journal, and basically, um, it was kind of like a gratefulness journal where I would be like, oh, I'm so happy that I'm financially free. My career is blooming. My career is always developing. And I would just like take maybe like half an hour every morning and just practice these things like affirmations, um, listening to different podcasts and YouTube videos that were talking about manifestation. I was meditating. I was like taking time out to like visualize things. I would write in my journal, as I said. I would put like notes everywhere with affirmations. So I really surrounded myself with like these like notes of always that always reminded me that I already have that. And you know, my first of all, I have to also say that growing up also, like I was taught and convinced that money is evil and only bad people make a lot of money. So yeah, if you were rich, you probably did, you know, something illegal. So it was very hard to shift from that mindset to like everyone can make money, I can make as much money as I want, making money is fun and easy, so like things like that. But after a couple of weeks of doing this, literally almost every day, things really started to change. And so I was really focusing on, yes, making more money, getting multiple streams of income, then that my career is always developing and expanding, and I love what I do. So I think those were kind of like main things. Yeah, making money isn't fun. So I would just like caveat all these affirmations of like just, you know, making money is super easy and fun, and it is like I can't believe that my closed mind, was the only thing that was kind of separating me from achieving these goals. It's now when I'm, you know, I can't believe it that I lived the majority of my life believing these things, like having these limiting beliefs where it's so easy. You just shift your perspective, you just shift your mind, you start believing, and things start happening. So a few weeks in, first thing that happened was I discovered I can do some side hustles. And yeah, the biggest was dog walking. I love dogs, and I immediately started doing that. So that was my first like extra income that happened. Then I got an offer to work as a creative director that I've never worked before. So not only I got a new job, a new opportunity, but my career started developing. Then I opened my Fiverr profile and I started getting jobs immediately. So like it's in conclusion, yes, manifestation works even for people who are complete unbelievers. You can shift your beliefs, you can shift your mindset, and you can manifest pretty much anything. I recently even started working on like I can manifest everything really fast, because usually it did take me a few weeks. Now I'm working on this belief system that I can manifest everything in like hours if I want to. It hasn't really happened yet, not in the extent that I would want, like small things, yes, but like not in a bigger scale. So I am gonna work on that in the next couple of weeks and tell you like if it works or not. But yeah, so I wanted to tell you like why this career development happened from me being like an editor and fashion stylist and having this online business for mentorship, why in a few months span I completely shifted and changed kind of like the trajectory of my whole business, is because my career started evolving and developing in ways that I didn't even imagine. Because the thing is, I wasn't very specific when I was manifesting like on what I wanted to happen. So maybe if you want very specific things, do focus on that specific thing. I was just saying I want my career to develop, and that's it. And it developed in the in a way that I haven't even imagined, but I am loving it and I'm enjoying it. I'm just riding this wave and I'm like super grateful. And yeah, I think try it out and let me know. Let me know if you have any experience with manifesting. What have you manifested? How does it work for you? Like what kind of systems, what kind of tactics do you use? What kind of prompts, tools, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think what else is left for me is maybe to manifest this YouTube channel blowing up and finally, finally all this work being paid off. That would also be great. Okay, I think this is already getting too long, so thank you so much for listening and see you next time. Bye.